He pointed to the toilet in the middle of the cell and said, "The 14 of us share that toilet." I'm chiming in late here, but back in my early 20s, I was working as a counselor at this community center in LA, dealing with a bunch of at-risk kids who were already knee-deep in trouble, gang stuff, petty theft, the usual spiral. My name's Alex, by the way, though nobody really cared about that part. I figured if I could steer even one of them straight, it'd be worth it. So when the center suggested I tag along on one of those scared straight tour at a prison up in SoCal, some max security, joint off the 101, I jumped on it. The idea was to see it up close, figure out if dragging my kids through something like that might actually click for them, or if it was just more bullshit that'd backfire. The drive up there was quiet, just me and this other counselor named Jordan, who'd done the program a few times before. She warned me it wasn't all dramatic showdowns with lifers. Mostly it was the grind, the monotony that broke people. We got there around noon, signed a million waivers, and they herded us into this, a coin. Gee holy, that smelled like bleach and old sweat. The tour guide was this wiry guard named Ramirez. All business, no chit-chat. He walked us through the basics first. The yard, the chow hall where fights broke out over extra jello. The visitation room with its bulletproof glass and those shitty phones that always cut out mid-sentence. But man, the real gut punch started when we hit the cell blocks. It wasn't the violence that got me though, yeah. We saw a shakedown in progress, guards barking orders, while some guy in a paper smock got strip searched right there in the open. Or the isolation cells, pitch black holes where you could hear dudes muttering to themselves through the vents. Now, what lodged in my brain like a splinter was this one pod, crammed with overflow from a riot the week before. Ramirez stopped us outside this narrow corridor of cells, all chain link gates and flickering fluorescents, and pointed to one that looked barely bigger than a walk-in closet. 7 bunks in there, he said. Like it was no big deal. 14 beds total, stacked like shelves. They hot bunk into shifts. One sleeps while the other's out. I peered in, and there were these guys scattered around. Some reading dog-eared paperbacks, others just staring at the walls. That's when this mountain of a dude unfolded from the bottom bunk. Had to be 6 feet 6, easy, with arms like tree trunks and a fade that said he'd been inside long enough to grow out a few grays. His cellies called him Congo from the way they deferred when he shifted. He locked eyes with me through the bars, not hostile, just ... appraising, like I was some zoo exhibit. He jerked his chin toward the stainless steel toilet bolted right in the middle of the floor, no partition, no nothing, 14 of us on that thing. He rumbled, voice low and gravelly. And when you gotta go, brother, you're squatting there with an audience, eyes everywhere. Rap tracks got you thinking thug life's all gold chains and G-wagons. But I ain't heard one verse about dropping a deuce on a freezing slab while your bunkmates 2 feet away cracking jokes. He let out this dry bark of a laugh, but his eyes didn't crinkle. The other guys in the cell just nodded, like it was the most normal complaint in the world. We moved on after that, but I couldn't shake it, the raw, stupid humiliation of it all, the kind that doesn't make headlines but eats at you day after day. The rest of the afternoon blurred into more of the same. Workshops where inmates insane. Read clothes tried to scare us straight with stories of botched heists and lost families. A quick peek at the gym where weights clanged like thunder. I was fried by the time we looped back toward the exit, mentally filing it all away for my kids back home. Elijah, this 16-year-old I'd been working with, he was always blasting that trap music, idolizing the street cred. I wondered if even a whiff of this place would pierce that bubble for him. Then, right as Ramirez was wrapping us up near the education wing, this lanky inmate in a faded blue jumpsuit bumped into me at a water fountain, total accident. But he froze like he'd been caught stealing. His name tag